everyone. This is Realtor Linda Peltz. Today I'm here with Shannon, and she's going to share some valuable information with you. Make sure you pay attention. Take it away, Shannon.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate you having me on. I'm Shannon. I work at Paychex, a very well-known payroll processor in the Central Valley. We have actually over 10,000 clients. Right now, what I think valuable information for our small or mid-size or large employers is the employee retention tax credit. So even if you are an officer-only person, it could be a broker, a realtor, or someone that has a team of people. If you were working during the pandemic and impacted by government shutdowns and or you saw a loss in your business, so it doesn't have to be you have to have had a loss. It also can be impacted by government shutdowns. We're helping everyone get the employee retention tax credit and do the calculations. For 2020.
Valuable service right there.
2020, it's 50% of your payroll wages with a cap of $5,000 per employee per quarter. And we can go back and do quarter 2, 3, and 4 last year. And then we have 2021, which is 70% of the wages with a cap of $7,000. And for 2021, we can go back and do quarter 1, quarter 2, and we're actually live in quarter 3. So for quarter 3, you actually would leave your money in the bank for any of the money that would come back in the credit as an advance payment. So So let's say you've had you owed this quarter on your 941 $10,000. It's kind of small, but let's just say it's that, and you had credits of $8,000. You would leave the $8,000 in your bank, and then you would just send over the $2,000. So you don't have to wait until you file next year. And right now, I feel like everyone in the community,
important.
They need the money now.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Now that works with the 1099 employees, or is it just W-2s?
It is for any person that is filing a 941. So typically, if it's for instance, insurance sales rep, real estate agent, a financial advisor, you would need to be an S Corp. Most people, a lot of times when they get to a certain income level, they incorporate for the tax purposes, of course. But as long as you are paying payroll taxes and filing a 941, or if you're even an ag, and even if you're a nonprofit, there are some benefits to the nonprofits, even though they don't file taxes necessarily because they don't pay taxes, they still file a 941.
Nice. Okay. Valuable information there.
Yeah, it's really good.
Save yourself some money. Get over to Shannon.
Yeah, it's right now we've been averaging about $80,000 per client in tax credits, but that's with 2020 and 2021. And our average size client is between 1 and 10. So the larger they grow, then there's more. We also have been helping with workplace safety. So, there's a lot of workplace safety issues going on. Can we mandate vaccinations? What do we do if people don't want to get vaccinated? Cal OSHA has some new regulations that they want the employer of record to do to keep the employees safe. And they are requiring some trainings and providing respirators. So if they decide to not be vaccinated, they want them to do some preliminary cautions. So, how do you have that conversation with your employee if they're pushing back? But you also want to look out for their, best interest while being on the clock working for the employer. So we're doing a lot of workplace safety education.
Nice. That is great. Yeah. So many small businesses, with us wearing so many hats, I think that's a huge problem with, kind of that mid to smaller range, because we end up kind of being that jack of all trades, but master of none. So it's always nice to have somebody you can fall back on and go, I'm confused. If I don't know, how can I tell it to my employees? So
exactly. Yeah. They're wearing 12 hats: accounts payable, receivable, payroll, marketing, sales.
A lot of times. Yes. So that's great. Great to know.
Yeah. Another thing is the WOTC credits. So I'm not sure if you have heard about the work opportunity tax credit. But if you hire somebody that gets SNAP benefits, comes off unemployment, things like that, you actually get a tax credit. And right now, everyone's saying I can't find anyone to work because they're on unemployment. They're liking that extra stipend, which hopefully will go away soon so we can get people back to work.
I know, isn't that crazy?
But what that does is it actually gives them a tax credit for hiring them. So that's another thing.
An incentive to go that little bit extra and keep looking. I know I worked all the way through it. I never really took any of the, the benefits, and a lot of the realtors did. They're like, oh no, I'm going on employment, because we don't normally get it with us being 1099. It's like, man, I worked all the way through, and all the way through this year's even busier. So it's crazy.
I would say the other thing, just as far as payroll goes, when you're thinking about who you're going to use to do for payroll, you want to, I guess you could say, consider the place that can bundle things all in one place. You don't have this guy that does this, that guy that does that. We do pay as you go workers' comp. So a lot of times if you have a policy, you have to pay a down payment and projection, and then try to see through your audit. So pay as you go workers' comp is really big. And then the CalSavers mandate. So if you have a company of 50 or more, you have to have a retirement plan. You'll start getting penalties, and it's going to be down to 5 or more starting January through June of next year. So you'll have to set something up, which that integrates with our payroll service. So you don't have to give a match, but you do have to set up a plan and make sure you educate them.
Different types, and that's probably where you're valuable to come in at, as to what fits their company. Each of our small businesses are a little different from each other, so we can talk to you and see which one fits ours, because there are different types. I do know that much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the reason why they're doing it is because of the Social Security issue. I really think, Linda. I mean, it's just not looking good for the rest of us, but they've raised it to 70. And if you retire after 2035, they're looking at only being able to pay 75% of benefits.
Oh, wow. So it's incentive for me as an older person, make sure I'm out by 2035. Huh?
Get out by 2035. Retire early. It's listed on their webpage. Yeah, it's we have to start. And you even think about Medicare. I mean, Medicare, you got to get supplemental B, D, and the cost of medical is going up. Prescriptions, even generics. So really saving even just 1%, 2%, or 3% now with that compounding interest could be helpful. And you talk about it in the real estate industry, getting some investments set up.
Definitely. That's one thing about our brokerage I really love is our brokerage is built on agents helping agents. And so that is their whole model on helping you set up retirement and bringing in the younger ones, to take over. And then it's just, we continue on. So that's what our brokerage is actually built on, is that setting us up for a future and retirement, and they give you stocks in the company and different things. So it's great. So a lot of brokerages aren't like that. So all you people that's over at different brokerages that don't have a retirement, get over to her and help her get you going, so that at some point you can retire, hopefully before 2035, it sounds like.
Yeah. What are you guys seeing in the real estate market right now? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Oh, we are still a seller's market. Home prices are going up very quickly. Great for the sellers. We're still short on inventory, although it's getting a little better. And the buyers are out in groves because our interest rates are so low. So no, it's a tremendous market. I think it was 4 in escrow just over this weekend. I have noticed my shift from, even sellers to buyers that I help. I noticed it leans more like 20% sellers and, 80% buyers at this point, because we have a lot of buyers out looking, and we're still a little short on inventory for them, even in the rental market. I mean, it's just, these poor poor renters or poor buyers, they were just really fighting tooth and toenail trying to get a roof over their family. So I think several of them are probably living with parents and a few things until they can get the switch, because it's just everybody's short. There's just not enough homes. The new housing market, there's like a 10-month, year waiting period on them. They're not even finding time to get the model homes hardly built because they're going so fast. So yeah, it's a crazy market right now. It really is, but it's doable. Get over to
So
me.
I know. I was gonna say I moved over here from the coast. Everybody goes to Pismo Beach and everything, but I moved over here because the housing market is fantastic if you're going to buy. Even if the prices are where they are right now, it is still a fantastic time to buy.
Because the
And so
interest
we
rates
moved
are so
over
low.
here.
Yeah, you get a lot more house, even though the prices are going up this year than you will next year when the interest rate goes up. So, and the house prices are still going up, so you're going to get a whole lot less for your money next year.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
They're willing to fight the battle, and they actually listed Fresno, California, as the hottest market in the country. So we're battling a lot of investors on top of that, um, as well as, which there's a call for all of them, because there are certain homes that need that, depends on what type of an investor they are. So if they're a flipper, fantastic, because some of these homes definitely need some help. They haven't been maintained or upgraded or anything. So if you're that one, we still have we can still want those type of investors. If you're a landlord, if you're an investor and you like to invest in, we need those too. So we need all of them, but we have a huge supply or a huge need for homes. So hey, all you sellers, get over to me and let's get your home listed, because it is still a fantastic market for them. So
absolutely. What about Airbnb? Have you seen a lot of people buying investment properties to do rentals?
Oh yeah. Airbnb's big. A lot of them are upgrading to, they're going to continue to work at home. They're not going back to the offices, so they're looking for that extra room to close off for their office, and I, it's just an incredible market. And I think employers, and you've probably seen it on your side, is figuring out it's still cheaper to have them at home, to where they don't have to
exactly
have a lot of these regulations in play.
Yes.
So,
as you can see, I'm working in my house with kids in the background. Yes, it's cheaper to send them home.
yeah. And I think employers have learned that through COVID. It's not a detriment to their business. It's almost an asset, because they don't have to have that spare bathroom, and the male and the female, and the little regulations. It doesn't have to be compliant with different things, that they expect. And I don't know. I just think employers have figured out that it's actually cheaper to have them work from home. So we're seeing it in the residential side, is the people are like, which they love working at home, but it's like, I still need my own space. I still need that
exactly.
extra
They need that office.
Place to put it. Yeah,
exactly.
they're still doing it, just different way. So
exactly, yeah, making that space at home a little bit more functional and more comfortable.
Definitely. And I think it translates into all small business. It's not just realtors, or I do think you've seen it in the huge brokerage. And I do kind of think the brick and mortar brokerage is kind of a thing of the past. I think you're going to see a lot more. Our model is all virtual. I've seen a huge shift, which I was seeing that shift pre-COVID, but it just really magnified it once we hit the COVID section. And EXP Realty is a virtual brokerage. So we're all in the cloud. So there is, I mean, we still do in-person showings and different things, but we have so many tools and so many different processes at our fingertips that most of the brick and mortars can't even comprehend or handle, or know where to go to even get it. Now, with that said, I'm seeing a lot of the smaller mom and pop brokerages move over to the EXP model and be powered by our tools, which is a possibility too. So there's different ways, but we are definitely progressing into the future, and is definitely everything is pretty much online at this point. So my grandmother was actually a realtor about 100 years ago. Very different process, very heavy, paper laden. Nothing was done online. It was all, that handshake type thing. So very different
Those are
world.
the times we wish we would have bought a house in like Santa Barbara or San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. And at the time, I'm sure they thought those prices were horrendous. How can people afford it?
Yeah.
And now look at us.
I know, but I will say from my personal experience moving here from the coast, we've only been here 2 years, and our property, because they're developing so much over here in the Central Valley, there's a lot of people that are moving over. It's went through the roof, the value. It has, because there's so many people. All of our neighbors in our neighborhood in Clovis, they're not from here. They're from Riverside. They're from the Bay Area. We're from the coast. And we've only been here 2 years, and it's just raised so much because it's growing. Like, this community is growing.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. A good portion of my buyers coming in are from either the southern or the northern section. They're coming down into the more affordable because they're planning on working from home or retiring or whatever the reason is. In our housing, we still have everything here in the Fresno County area, but our housing is just so much more affordable than our counterparts, down in the San Diego or Los Angeles area or the Bay Area. So they're like, oh no, we're coming down here and we're just going to work remotely or retire or whatever, whatever they're doing. So it's like, okay, come on in, but we still have the same battles we're fighting, trying to get a roof over everyone's head. So
exactly. Yeah.
But they're bringing in a lot of cash, and that's why our house prices are going up so fast compared to what they were, just because of that, because they are bringing in a lot of cash. So a lot of times they're going over the appraised value at this point.
Oh, wow.
But our appraisers has done a really good job. We're short on appraisers too. We can't keep up with it because of all the refis and the low interest and different things, but they've done a really good job. I really have been impressed. I was talking to my preferred lender the other day about, the appraisers have really done a really good job. And he says his thought was, yeah, they finally figured out market value actually means what somebody will pay for it. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, but they've done a really good job through this whole thing. I really haven't seen that many low appraisals come in. It's pretty much, well, if they're willing to pay it, yeah, we think it's a good investment. So
that's
go
awesome.
for it. But yeah, so that's what we're kind of battling is all that stuff. But there's a way, and I've been able to help a lot of buyers get into homes. It's just a little different than it had been, a little different market. So that's where you kind of need an experienced realtor to, so you don't
absolutely
have to have 10 failed offers before you get through on one. So
yeah, no, expertise does help. It also makes the process less stressful, because we all know whether you're buying a car or you're buying a house, there's a process, and having someone that's on your side helps it go really smooth.
Well, same thing in your industry. It's so important to have that support system in place so that, you stay out of hot water. You're the front line. So
no, absolutely.
It's such a valuable to have that. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's gotten to be a headache. I will say lately, accountants kind of want to get out of payroll because it's a redundant thing, and they want to take family vacations, and tax seasons are a slaughter to their schedule because they're working 80 hours a week. So we find that a lot of bookkeepers and accountants, because of the compliance in California, and it's a very employee-friendly state, not employer-friendly like Texas, that they're like, please go to a payroll company, because there's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of data.
Oh, and it's just all their compliance issues and state mandates, and they're just more and more and more every day. So I think it's a hugely valuable service. So all you viewers out there, make sure you get a hold of Shannon and see what they can do to help your business grow and take some of those hats away and maybe some of the stress to go with it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on today, Linda. If
Thanks
you guys
for
need to
joining
reach me, you can send me an email.
contact information, and then you can text it to me or email it to me, and I'll make sure I'll put it on the article for everybody to get a hold of you.
Thank you so much. And if you're looking to sell or buy a home, make sure you reach out to Linda.
Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate that. All right, everybody have a great day today,
Bye.
and I will see you on the next one.